Welcome to Curtis Ghost Corner, coming to you from a secret underground base in occupied America. From the post-millennial, Obama administration directed foreign allies to target Trump, Associates report. Sources say that the USIC asked its foreign allies to target 26 members of Trump's team. And that was under President Barack Obama. Now, there's sources this and sources that. I think it's accurate. Are we ever going to find out the whole story? Probably not. Some people call it a conspiracy theory. But as more and more evidence comes out, it's apparent that one of the main reasons why the intelligence services are after Trump so badly and the Democrats is because if he wins, much of this is going to be exposed. Let's read on. A new report released on Tuesday has revealed that under the Obama administration, the United States intelligence community mobilized foreign agencies long before the summer of 2016 to target Trump, before the FBI began its Crossfire Hurricane investigation and to debunk Trump campaign collusion with Russia. There's still people in my comments on my channel, and I have a small channel. Traitor Trump, he colluded with Russia. You see interviews all over media, YouTube. I hate Trump, he's a traitor, he colluded with Russia. There are people that still believe this nonsense. In a joint report by Michael Schellenberger, Matt Taibbi, and Alex Guntag, sources close to a House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence investigation revealed that the U.S. intelligence community asked the Five Eyes, which consists of nations of U.S., U.K., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, which is basically the British Commonwealth, to survey and share intelligence gathered on Trump associates with U.S. agencies. Now, here's the way it works. Say the U.S. intelligence service is monitoring a communications of a foreign national here in the United States. Very illegal. They do it all the time. So does every country, actually. But sometimes when you monitor foreigners in the United States with surveillance, cell phones, and the like, you come across communications with citizens. And that what happens is you basically disregard the citizen and just concentrate on the foreigner and not go after the American citizen further. It's just a coincidence they're talking to them. Former President Obama's CIA Director John Brennan, who should be in jail, frankly, who lied under oath repeatedly over time, not for what he did, just the lying part, reportedly identified 26 Trump associates for the nations to target. And a source confirmed that the IC identified them as people to bump or make contact with or manipulate. In a lot of ways, that's entrapment. They were targets of their own intelligence and law enforcement, targets for collection of misinformation. This was the impetus for the famous Steele dossier, that Clinton was behind this. When I say Clinton, I mean Hillary Clinton. This stinks. Even if 1/10 of this is true, it makes Watergate look like a joke. I'm old enough to remember Watergate, and those of you that are younger, go back and read up. Sources said the details in the FBI's investigation. Now, it's sources now. They didn't name anybody up front. FBI's investigation of Trump and raw intelligence from the IC surveillance of Trump campaign were contained in a 10-inch binder with Trump ordered to be declassified at the end of his term. It was previously reported that the British government communications headquarters was considered a primary whistleblower in the Trump-Russia collusion investigation. So where is this 10-inch binder which Trump ordered to be declassified? I don't think it has. So there's another felony right there. A directive from the President of the United States ignored. Sources instead say the USIC asked its foreign allies to target these 26 members of Trump's team. Being they're all American citizens on American soil, technically they weren't allowed. So they used their allies in the British intelligence, basically the British Commonwealth intelligence agencies, to spy for them. They're making contacts and bumping Trump people going back to March 2016. A source close to the investigation told Public and Racket. They were sending people around the UK, Australia, Italy, the Mossad in Italy. Mossad is pretty, if you know Mossad, that's the intelligence services of the Israelis. Super badasses and super, super good. The MI6 was working at the intelligence school they had set up. MI6 is England's version of the CIA. Their intelligence agencies. A source added that the IC considered the 26 people to bump or manipulate through confidential sources to be easy targets because of inexperience. U.S. law prohibits the type of intelligence gathering unless a Foreign Intelligence Act warrant is obtained. See, this way they can do it without a warrant. They were denied the reporting, but the spokesman stated the allegations that GCHQ was asked to conduct wiretapping, as they call it. Nobody taps wires anymore, but the phrase is still used, against then President-elect are nonsense. They're utterly ridiculous and should be ignored. The report noted that in our email presenting the claims to GCHQ, we did not refer to wiretap, but rather to its UK spy agency broader aligned involvement in the scheme. Yeah. One of Trump's associates who was targeted was foreign policy advisor Carter Page from the FBI, admitted that he should have not sought FISA warrant to wiretap. I don't like FISA warrants anyway. They're secret warrants. Secret. All those warrants that were given when the intelligence services lied to the FISA courts and the judges issued warrants. Why aren't all those people who lied to the court in jail or at minimum charged and tried? That's a damn good question. And my second question is, they rotate judges all the time in the FISA courts and D.C. circuit. Everybody knows the list of judges that are on there at one time or another. And why aren't these judges really pissed off that these people lied to them? Those are two good questions I've never got a straight answer to. The first of the targets appeared to be former Defense Intelligence Agency head Mike Flynn, who will go on to be Trump's national security advisor. Yeah, he got railroaded. Stephen Halber, a Cambridge academic and a confidential human source, approached Flynn in March of 2016. He approached at least 4 Trump targets and was paid over $400,000. The Stephen Halber story is ridiculous, the source said. He was a consultant to write papers that really weren't papers and paid inflated sums like $400,000. He was conducting bumps and intel contacts. And I'm going to slowly go through this. We get the general gist of it. It's the investigators had created a barn that blew up the assessment but couldn't get it out because the CIA controlled it. It was unbelievable. Investigators attempted to get the report declassified before Trump left office, but the CIA was reportedly not cooperative and rebuffed them at every turn, a source told Public and Racket. They're the nameless, the faceless, unelected deep state. The elected people work at the behest of the American people. They were chosen to represent the American people. They were not. The investigation had to be done at their spaces, and the CIA monitored the investigators. A reminder that the CIA was present while investigators worked on the report. Isn't that interesting? What else? What other can of worms? Is this in part why they're going after Trump so badly? And, you know, I'll tell you the truth, I'm a big Trump supporter. But he was in Washington on day one when he first was sworn in 2017. he was in a arena that he was not used to. All of his businesses, real estate, all the other things that he was involved in, he became an expert over time. The one thing he wasn't an expert at was the devious tactics of Washington, D.C. and the deep state bureaucrats. And he listened because he's an outsider. He was very much like Jimmy Carter in that sense, not that I'm comparing the two. He was an outsider. So was Ronald Reagan, actually, in a lot of ways. Was an outsider that didn't know who did what, who was the good guys, who were the bad guys. And he went in with the advice of all the old school Republicans, the rhinos, Mitch McConnell's, Paul Ryan was speaker, and he went along with it. He figured I caused so much animosity and bad blood, and I'm so polarizing. Let's try to bring everybody together and work for the American people. And that was his blunder. And that was his mistake. Trusting these people. He should have brought in his own people that were loyal to him and the country, especially the country. But he did what he thought was right. Bury the hatchet. The election was over. The war was over. Let's move on. And it didn't happen. And don't tell me for a minute that President Obama didn't know about it, because I don't buy it for a second. Knowing the whole time during the transition from one administration to the other, knowing exactly what was going on. If Trump wins, will all this come out? And will the bad actors get called out, charged, put on trial, and go to jail? We'll have to see. But this is why they're terrified. Remember the 51 intelligence agency experts, a former CIA director, who, by the way, the CIA director Brennan, when he was younger, was a member of the Communist Party. But I digress. They all said this had all the earmarks, the Hunter Biden laptop, as a Russian psyop, basically BS, PR, public relations to make you believe something that's not true. And they all knew that it was, because the FBI had the laptop. The only thing that got out at all about the laptop was the fact that the individual who owned the computer repair store where Hunter left his laptop, left it there so long that under law, it becomes the ownership of the repair shop, because the bill wasn't paid. Very much like if you don't pay your rent on a space that you rent, after a certain amount of days or months, everything in it becomes yours. It's amazing to me. And that's the only way it got out, and it still got hid by Twitter and Facebook and all the rest, and most of the mainstream media. It was a miracle that Trump won in 2016. He pulled the inside straight. And they did everything in their power to undermine him. The people's choice for President of the United States, whether you like him or not, this is dirty, and not just dirty and immoral. They are felonies by the thousands. And where is the law? Remember, the Democrats keep saying no one is above the law. Yeah, they are. If there's a D in front of their name, or they're working for the Democrat Party, then they are above the law. It's disgusting on a scale that I can't even begin to imagine. Maybe someday, just like Watergate, all the details will come out. I sure as hell hope so. I hope it's in my lifetime. I'm 67. I don't have long, as far as 20, 30, 40 years to go. I hope I find out before that and it becomes a best-selling book. We'll have to see. And now they're saying that President of the United States can't claim immunity as president, which means every single president living today, including here Barack Obama, can be brought up on charges, can be brought up on war crime charges, things that he did as president. They all could, not just Obama. They all could Clinton, both Bushes, all the way back, can now be charged after they're president. If this goes through and the Supreme Court does not grant immunity to an individual, whether it be Donald Trump or even Joe Biden or Barack Obama or Bill Clinton or George W. Bush, the presidency is over. The founders had three branches of government to check each other in case one went too far. Well, where's the check and the balance now? Now the Democrats control most of the judiciary, all the intelligence services, the Oval Office, everything. Where's the check and the balance? I could go on and on, but I won't. I've gone long enough. This is huge. This sets the course for the presidency of the United States for the next 50 to 100 years. Maybe making the President of the United States impotent. It's disgusting, and they're all doing it because they're trying to cover their asses. They're bringing the Constitution and the country down. They'd rather burn the whole place down than get caught. Before I get mad, I better get off here. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.